Hey, everybody, that's right. It is that time again. It is Drinks with Dee Dee.
And George. Cheers. Love you.
Love you, mean it.
Mean it.
Do. Thank you. And, mm, my goodness, so much to talk. Let me get rid of these things. So much going on in the world right now.
Well, let's start off on a positive note.
I'm sure there's a lot going on in the world.
Yes.
Okay, what's your positive note?
That John was totally beautifully well received at the NASCAR race here in Las Vegas. It was so much fun and so amazing.
So much.
They love John because of the Dukes of Hazzard. He's a car guy anyway. There was Morgan Freeman.
Yep.
So John and Morgan Freeman were there
over here. So
greeting.
There we go.
Greeting all the drivers, and it was just fantastic.
It was great. I hadn't been to a NASCAR race in a long time, but way back when I was doing Dukes, I had an associate sponsorship of Terry Labonte when he raced the 44 car for Anheuser-Busch. So I used to be in the pits on pit road, and I used to be in around NASCAR folks all the time, and I forgot how much I missed it.
I can tell you're having fun. You're like, it's just great. It really was.
Especially up on the roof. Because we were in a suite, which is great, and the people were wonderful, and the food was great, and the conversation was wonderful, but it wasn't loud. You know, one of the reasons why I like NASCAR so much, or racing it all so much, is not just the speed and the smell. I put that on Facebook the other day. I love the smell of racing fuel and burning tires and burning rubber, not burning tires in that other way. But it was so much fun. It was great. And the Las Vegas Motor Speedway is a Smith track. Bruton Smith, his son, oh goodness, Malcolm.
And they were just so nice.
I hope it's Malcolm. If it's not, I'm so apologetic. I'm sorry. I don't know a lot of people named Malcolm, so I'm thinking it is. But he was a wonderful, wonderful guy. They welcomed me with open arms. They welcome you with open arms. And we'll intersperse some pictures here throughout of a wonderful day at NASCAR here in Vegas.
It was the chairman's suite. It was gigantic, and it was amazing.
Ginormous.
But didn't matter, because John's like, I'm going to go on the roof, and he loved that way more. And it was loud.
Oh, the roof, I don't want to. Everybody's like this, and I'm like, bring it on. I'm like this.
He was. I couldn't even, way loud. But it was cool to see. And then, and it was fairly, but they've done a weird thing. They've gone from 5 or 6 lug nuts, I think it was 5 or 6, to one center, like the old cars had a knockoff. A couple of the older Corvettes did, some Lamborghinis did. One center nut, really. And my gosh, they weren't into turn one. They were just starting the race when a rear tire fell off of one of the cars. I think it was a Bass Pro car. Rear tire passed him going down. He had to take a whole lap on the brake on the disc to come back and get the tire changed. And then about 3 or 4 other times during that race, they had tires falling off issues. Always tires are going to blow. They're going to have that because they're, asking those tires to do an awful lot. But I think this center hub is an error. I think it's gonna kill somebody, and they're going to be sorry they did that. I'd rather have 5 or 6 chances to keep my tire on than one, especially at 220 miles an hour. Also, whenever, in the movies and races, I've been to quite a few races. That's the big dramatic part, is they're trying to get all the little tires back on. Boom.
Yeah.
So I didn't even realize that.
Well, they still do that, but there's just one. And I have a feeling you car folks know that if you've ever had a General Lee, had a 68 or a 69 Charger, the driver's side, especially, it maybe not in the front. I think so, though. In the front, they're reverse threaded, so that as you go down the road forward, it actually is tightening the lug nuts, not loosening them. They figured that out, I think, with the Hemi, with the 68 with the Hemi. I think they figured that out because tires were coming off. So they said, well, let's just reverse thread. So that's what they did. I have a feeling that on these center hub, single center hub, I don't even know what you call them, knockoffs, I have a feeling that they're not reverse threaded on the driver's side, which means the more they go, the more likely they are to come loose. And that's just ridiculous. So I don't know how they talk the whole industry into doing something like that. That, it looks cool, but it's I think it's potentially very unsafe, and we saw it. We saw it on Sunday, but nobody got hurt. Everybody was had a great day for it. The weather actually the day before was kind of windy and overcast, and the day after was kind of windy and overcast. But the day of the race was absolutely gorgeous.
It was perfect, and people were having such a great time, and it was just great to see John in his element and everyone was all over him. Oh, I love Jacob Hazard, and it's always that way everywhere we go.
And Smallville, and some Smallville,
Oh,
but, you know,
yeah.
Swift Race and Having Him Nuts. The last folks we ran into on the way out were just, they figured out I was Jim Cryer and they just went bonkers. So it was pretty great. Pretty great.
People love cars. They love you. I mean, everyone loves you, but the car thing definitely added an element of John Schneider being the man. So,
Well, they can tell that I love cars. You know, they can tell that I mean, who goes on the roof, closes their eyes and goes, unless you really enjoy the sport. And I do.
It'd been a while since John had gone to a major race, and everybody
Oh,
was
yeah.
appreciative, like, oh, well, this is great. So they loved it. It's like going home week.
Yep. And Morgan was great. He was great. The
Yeah.
drivers were great.
The orange guy.
Sandy Tucker's easy. Kubota. I told him, I said, you know, orange cars go faster.
He liked that.
And then he liked that. And then when I first said it to him in the break room, at the driver's meeting, he didn't know who I was. You know, he's got his head in the race. And then when they introduced the drivers, after they introduced me, then he realized who I was, and he came down and he said, orange cars do go faster.
Because John greeted all the drivers, he and Morgan Freeman. So that was great fun.
And our friend, the gal from Pennzoil,
Right?
and our
Tucker's niece.
and our wonderful WWE champion. So it was a great day all the way around. It was a wonderful, wonderful day and a beautiful day.
So Vegas has been fun. And also, John just mentioned Bass Pro, and we've gone to the biggest Bass Pro shop in the world. It's over.
Oh, that's right.
It's over the Silverton.
That's what.
And
My God.
it is so cool. And also there they have I don't know if we think Wimber Plus did that, but they have mermaids in this aquarium, and they stay in there a long time. The kids love it. We loved it. So lots of sights and sounds here at Las Vegas. We also went to the Sphere, which was wonderful and beautiful. It was stunning. However, it couldn't keep their mouth shut politically.
It's an amazing experience. But about 5 minutes in, we looked at each other and said,
Here we go.
"Are they saying they're populating a distant planet because
we
mankind screwed up Earth?" So it wound up being a Green New Deal, big, beautiful, impressive piece of Green New Deal propaganda with one very interesting element. I still don't know why they did it. There were no Caucasians in the entire thing.
No white people.
Not
No white
one.
people at all. Forget it.
Not one. So I don't know if they were saying, you know, I would have thought if they were going the Green New Scam or Green New Deal way, that they would have at least blamed the demise of the world on white people, but they didn't.
Especially
We weren't
old
even.
white guys.
Yeah,
always.
that's right. Old bearded white guys.
I don't think you're old, but you know, that's always the bad guys, the old white guy.
He's 65 here soon.
When you serve the 16-5.
So anyway,
Yeah.
it was amazing. If you get to Vegas and you have the chance to go see it, go see it.
Oh, it's worth it.
But
be
just
ready.
bring your bullshit detector.
They had the seed shake, and then they had different smells in it and everything, and
And
it
some
was
wind.
good. It was other than that message, it was an amazing experience.
Yeah, and it's so well designed because you start watching it, and it's a big room, obviously, and you think, okay, well I guess that's an IMAX screen down there, so it's kind of small, but it's a huge room, so it's not small, but you kind of get used to seeing that, and then all of a sudden the picture gets bigger than that and bigger than
Oh,
that
that's great.
until you look here to see part of the picture, and you look here to see. There's my nose hairs. Yeah, you have to look up over your head. It's amazing.
And there was one shot that startled us both. It was like a little frog, remember? And he jumped out and went.
No, it's a spider.
Spider. Oh yeah, it's really scary looking. That's right.
Yeah, so the spider, you know, it's probably that big, but the spider.
They made it look.
Oh my God! And everybody jumped and laughed. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
But yep, they had to go somewhere else because we
We screwed up the earth.
Well, another tradition, the oldest casino, we're like, well, what's the oldest? And I think we both kind of thought it was the Flamingo, and it is. So we went there, and Wayne Newton, we didn't see the show. It wasn't going on that
He
night.
didn't have a show that night, but
But he does like 3 nights a week. I mean, he's still kicking.
he's still here. Rod Stewart still plays here.
Barry Manilow
Manilow still plays here.
Has-
Donny Osmond
has a lifetime residency, whatever that is. I guess he just does it whenever he feels like it until he dies.
and then he may do a couple more shows after that.
You never know. I love
It would
Barry
happen.
Manilow.
I love Barry Manilow.
I'd have a ball going.
I worked with Barry Manilow in 1981.
You did?
I did, or 1980. I don't know, one of the two.
What did you do?
New Year's Rockin' Eve.
Oh, that's right.
Aaron Moran and I, we
That's right.
hosted New Year's Rockin' Eve, and Barry Manilow was so hot in those days. He came in, he did
Cool.
3 songs.
No.
He changed his jacket 3 times, and he was in New Year's Rockin' Eve 80, 81, and 82, but he did it all at once. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Star Power.
Stand. Do 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 do.
That sounded like
Bandstand. Yeah, it does. You're right.
All American Bandstand, right?
Yeah, that's
Good
what I was
commercial.
attempting.
I didn't quite catch that.
Well, you can't always get it right. We can try. But we've had just such a ball here at Vegas.
We have.
And we've been trying to see the different casinos because we're a bit, I don't know, John especially is a creature of habit, so he likes going back to the same places. And it's like, well, let's try to spread it out a little. And we have. And we did go back to the Peppermill, and that was excellent. If you're hungry,
Breakfast
go
at
there.
Peppermill is really great.
And the food's been wonderful here. We did go to the old time bar at the Flamingo. Had wonderful cocktails.
Oh yeah,
It's full of-
Bugsy's Steakhouse. I think
That's using something.
really good, really really good. Bartender was great. People there were wonderful. So we've had a great time here. Well, yesterday was
Catch
Aria,
this night.
right?
Yes.
Catch at Aria.
Beautiful and wonderful food. We had great
Oh, it's
branzino.
not great. How do you say it?
Branzino.
Branzino.
And that was your idea, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, there's a tendency for me if I don't think about varying my diet, I will eat steak or hamburger or I will eat meat every day.
And we pretty
And
much
not that that's bad for you, but still, it's I think fish is great. Yesterday we played golf and they had a breakfast sandwich. It was supposed to be eggs and cheese and bacon, right, or ham or something, and on an English muffin. This is great, but it was egg whites. They remove the it's like a snot sandwich. I mean, my God. So they did I say that?
Well, and here's the thing about eggs. We both love eggs, but John is very particular about his. He doesn't want any runny. None. I even changed my
I don't mind the yellow part being runny, but the yolk is where the protein is. The yolk is the good part for you. An egg, Vince Gironda used to call the egg the perfect food.
It is perfect food.
Yeah. So don't screw around with it. Don't take the yolk out. And the poor gal there, she said, "Well, I guess they're opting on the side of healthy." And I said, "But it's not true." I said that the yellow, of course, I'm getting to an argument, right, about an egg yolk at a golf course. But yeah, the things we're told are true. It blows my mind, and people still believe that the yellow part is bad. I don't get it. Whole egg is good for you. Yep.
And we love eggs. We eat a lot of
More eggs. I know they're expensive right now, but we're fixing that. Gas prices are coming down.
Everything's coming down.
Imagine that. Yeah. So we talked about it last week. The stock market was a mess for a couple of days, but it's back, and I think that's terrific. The stock market is something that's manipulated by
a lot of things.
Kind of, yeah, but it moves based on fear. What's the opposite of fear? Hope. Well, no, there's something else. So people just believe, okay, this is a good stock. If they believe it's a good stock, then the stock is going to go up.
Optimistic.
But the stock, yeah, optimism. Yeah, fear and optimism. Or if they fear that the stock is going to go down or there's something bad about the company, then it'll go down. But the funny thing about the stock market is that the stock market itself has very little to do with the actual product. It's more just about what people think. So it's supply and demand. When people say, oh, you got to go get XYZ stock, and XYZ stock is $1, and then everybody goes to get it, well, there's a lot of people going to get it, so it's going to be $1 and $1.50 and $2 and $3 and $4. Have nothing to do with the product, just has to do with the fact that there's a lot of people that want that stock on any given day. Or somebody sows fear into them. Oh my God, the tariffs, it's going to just wreck the stock market. Well, of course, if people believe that,
And
it's going to, because there's going to be a sell-off, not because of any validity to whether tariffs are good or bad, but there's a sell-off because people now fear that the stock market is going to go down, and they don't realize that it's that fear alone that makes the stock market go down.
And the mainstream media, they keep trying to feed that fear because they hate
They
how
want it to go down because
they
they
hate him so much. And it's like, look, every president has been given a honeymoon period, but not Donald.
no, not Donald Trump.
They started out of the gate, and they're just angry and they're still mad and they can't believe they lost, but you did.
Are they
But
still
you did.
embarrassing themselves?
Yeah. Oh, here's the good news. Elon Musk, I think he just rescued the astronauts. I think that just happened a
I
little
think
bit.
it did.
Yeah. I mean, Elon's getting it done.
I'll get him. I'll go get him.
I'll just go get him.
I'll go get him.
It'll, cutting 18 million here, 92 million there. We see
Breaking news: Russian President Vladimir Putin has reported they agreed to and I don't know what.
I assume a truce.
No, I assume it's going to be a ceasefire. I don't know. I didn't read the whole thing, but that's another thing. There's a wonderful old saying. We use it on Smallville too. First of all, we talked about plausible deniability, and that's what the Democrats have lived on for quite some time. No more. The lights have been turned on.
Elon Musk.
But the old saying is keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So when somebody has a problem with our chief executive officer having a palatable, successful relationship with
The richest
Putin.
guy in the world.
Well, no, with Putin,
Right. Well,
then
of course.
we really don't have it. You don't want to have a bad relationship with Vladimir Putin. You don't want to have him over for waffles.
You don't want to.
Yeah, you don't want to shove him around.
But
But you got you keep him at an arm's length, but you keep that relationship has to exist. So now the relationship with Zelensky does not have to exist, because he's really a minor player on the global stage.
begging for money.
What's happened there is terrible, and I understand that. I mean, I think I understand that Vladimir Putin is trying to regain the territory that the Mother Russia had when he was a child, right? And Zelensky is trying to take back property. That all makes sense. They're both, but people are dying.
But you know what?
That's the thing that Trump said so articulately, unlike me. He said, look, people are dying. While we're sitting here talking about this, people are dying. People on your side, people on their side, people are dying. We have got to stop this now. Makes sense to me.
But I always thought it was so weird. I mean, we want other countries to do well, but what is this overwhelming interest in Ukraine? It's so weird. I mean, not to take away from the country, but there are a lot of countries that need help. Well, now we know. Now, who knows if this list is exactly right? But Ukraine, apparently, or allegedly, because you always have to check and double check. Not everything on the internet's true, obviously. But it's showing a list of people that got the kickbacks in a big way, like Biden, 92 million, McConnell, 80 million, and it goes down from there. But whenever you hit, I don't know, $1 million, even if you hit $5 and it shouldn't be given to you, it's a problem. It's a kickback. Yeah. A kickback is wrong. And a kickback with a foreign entity, I'm sorry, folks, but that would be that big T word that
you use that word, treason.
Treason. Go.
So how many people are using that word now? They're talking about Biden
all the time.
Treason. They're talking about Schumer. Treason. They're talking about Schiff.
Facts.
Treason. Yeah. If allegedly, we don't know for sure.
No, for sure.
We're gonna know. See, that's the thing. That's why they're just scraping in hoops, is because they know that we are about to know. We're no longer speculating. It's no longer a hypothesis. It is factual. Everything is satisfactual. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Wonderful feeling, but not for them. So we're finding things out every day, and I think it's wonderful. The lights have been turned on, and it's bad for them.
Well, here
Um,
you've got these
and
all
most of them
money going to people who don't deserve it.
fixing the timer.
I mean, at least with Ukraine, okay, I get it if all the money went there, but it just didn't make sense why we were so invested in Ukraine. Well, now I know. Because they were all making so much money. And we're talking about how Biden is using an auto pen the entire time, and that maybe he wasn't even the one doing it. So those pardons may be null and void. Who knows? It's crazy right now.
Apparently, I mean, I've seen pictures, but again, you know, the internet.
Allegedly.
The internet, allegedly. But I've seen pictures of woman signing with auto pen. Well, I was talking like Yoda, signing with auto pen. Pardon.
No, it's like the scammers, the way the scammers are, which we'll address that in a minute.
Well,
Yeah.
the scammers.
Yet again.
Yep.
Because
I'm John Schneider, assistant personal. Beware of scammers on internet.
But people fall
Only click
for it.
here.
Don't fall for it. Look, John has one Facebook page. That's it.
Oh, there's another page that a friend of mine sent me some screenshots of where I'm in support of Kamala Harris and you know that's not true. And saying bad things to widows and widowers, and it's ridiculous. So you know what my page. Sadly, they grab if I change my profile picture right now while we're doing this podcast.
Love it.
Before we finish the podcast, someone will have a page with my new picture on it.
And now they're
And the
doing it
little
to me.
the little checkbox.
They do it to me as well, and it's just like, please, well, actually, it's so obvious on mine. I think people get it, but with you, they are incredibly tricky. And what's upsetting now is because we have this benefit concert in Hazard, where, of course, you know, McConnell and Biden and the others, they're getting kickbacks by the millions, where these poor people don't have any money because they'd had 2 floods.
Yep.
And John's going down. We're going to go down and try to help them. Then you've got these scammers in Nigeria or Bangladesh or wherever they are with the hut called John Schneider and a hut called Kevin
Hazard.
Yeah. I mean, all these different celebrities that they're scamming, that they do not lay off of John. But please, 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 when you give your money to Hazard, make absolutely sure.
Only go to the website that we post.
If we have posted,
That's it.
we'll post it again.
And if you're buying tickets, only buy them from there. Because what the scammers do is they said, oh, hey, you know, we were so excited about going to the concert in Hazard, but something came up, so we have
We have 4 tickets.
4 tickets we want to sell. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Because even if it's true, those people can give them to friends.
Sure.
They're not going to be selling those tickets on the internet. Excuse me, ginger ale. They're not. That's called scalping. We're not going to let people do that. I mean, I don't know how we can stop it other than to tell you only buy tickets on the website that we post, because all of that money goes to Hazard. I actually realized that, remembering a dream I had last night where some friends of ours showed up at the concert and their tickets. Oh no, it wasn't a dream. It was us when we tried to go to the Sphere the other day.
Oh, right. It was us.
I think we bought the tickets twice.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think we did.
But usually gosh, everybody's tricky. So I always go to the same site to buy tickets for us because we're trying to, check out Vegas and the Vegas way, all in. And this
All in.
and this new site popped up. Like it snuck in.
Vegas
It was
go.
terrible.
Vegas go.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh. And they're like, well, you need the double authenticity and where
Oh God, factor authentication.
authentication. Yeah, and I was like, look, you need to cancel these or the credit card. We're going to get them to cancel it anyway. So you might as well do it. You heard me. I had to be
Oh,
very
she was.
stern with them. And they did it eventually. I said, look, you're going to lose your money regardless. You might as well do it the right way and not get a bad mark from us. So you have to watch everything like a hawk.
Yep.
And these poor people in Hazard do not deserve that. And obviously John doesn't deserve that. But it's really tricky with them that these people are nasty enough to take from folks that need the money desperately.
I don't understand it. I really don't understand. People want something for nothing. It just doesn't make any sense for me. I like working. I like helping out, but I like to work. I mean, I like to actually work for something rather than be given. I don't think I've really been given it.
We have fun every day figuring out what the next project is because, there are a lot of options. So, and there's only so much time.
Oh, Earls of Perry.
Earls of Perry,
I'm getting it honed in now because I think last week I told you finish the first draft, and now they say writing is rewriting. So the first thing to know if you're a screenwriter or a novelist or whatever it is, whatever you don't get it right, get it written. Just write it.
and then
Just
redo it.
put it down and then go through the editorial process of your own words and tighten it up and make it what you want it to be. But get the darn thing done. So I did that, and now I'm thinking, writing 4 other ones, because this one's a little long. This one is not really an hour. Which in the Dukes of Hazzard days, an hour was actually
15 minutes?
48. I think we started out at 52. There was 8 minutes of commercials. Then we went to 50. There was 10 minutes of commercials. And then I think we wound up at 48, which, by the way, that's the reason why you should get, and I think Walmart still has it, but the box set. If you're a Dukes of Hazzard fan, you want to watch we have the box set here. The full box set is like $60. But as the show went on in its syndication process, they kept cutting a minute or 2 minutes out of it, or God forbid, sometimes they had this really old technology where they would kind of speed the show up a little bit, and we just sound just a little bit different than we should really sound.
Mhm.
So if you get the box set, then you actually get to see the whole episodes as they were shot. Nothing is edited out of them, and they're not sped up for advertising concerns. So there's my public service announcement for that. But I do think I'm going to be able to write a couple of more episodes. Maybe we'll shoot 3 or 4 or 5 rather than just one. I'm not sure.
Whatever you want to do.
It's either one movie or 5 hour-long shows, because that's how we started Dukes of Hazzard. So I really want this to mirror as much as I can how Dukes of Hazzard was born. Right there in Hazard High. I love it.
You might want to remind everybody, you've said it before, but in a radio show with a gentleman in Hazard on the radio, you tell them how the name came about. It was like a gym bag.
Yeah, the story I heard was that Guy Waldron, who created Dukes, he also wrote Moonrunners. You remember that movie? He had written a show or had an idea for a show. I don't know how far he was in the process, but he was at an airport or a bus station or somewhere, and he saw someone carrying a high school gym bag, and it said Hazard High on it. And he saw that, and he said, "That's the name. That's the name. Hazard. I want to use Hazard."
But he added a Z.
He added a Z, yeah.
And that's fun because people do get them mixed up. Like what was it? Was an advertisement for Dukes of Hazzard, the show, or I know it was for the track, and they were so wonderful. Gosh,
I used 2 Z's.
we loved it, but they used one. They were talking about John from.
Oh, they used one. Yeah, that's confusing.
But it's good because it's good for everybody. It's good for Hazard, Kentucky, and it's good for the Hazard County, the fictitious Hazard County. But it's always a conversation, which I always get a kick out of.
That's right, because there is no Hazard County.
Right.
There's Perry County, and Hazard is the county seat of Perry County. So we're going to clarify all that. And my version of the Balladeer in the show says things like that. Well, before you get all your feathers ruffled, there's only one Z. This is
That Warner Brothers.
That's right. This looks kind of like that show we used to watch on Friday nights, huh? So it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of callback to the Dukes of Hazzard.
And why not?
If you want to get a real feel for what Earls of Perry is going to be, then go to we'll put a link in here too. Go to Cineflix DOD and watch Stand on It. Because I did the same thing. I did lots of callbacks, lots of winks and nods to Smokey and the Bandit in Stand on It, and also in Poker Run. So it's a lot of fun. I know you're going to love it. I mean, I was in there working on the script yesterday. I'm just laughing, and Dee Dee's like, "What are you doing?" So no, it's Earls of Perry. Oh my God, this is great. Because when I write, I can actually see it. So I can see what's happening. And oh my God, if you love the Dukes of Hazzard, you are going to love Earls of Perry. I promise.
Sean is such a great writer and such a great editor, and he really can do it all. No, I've been around a lot. And
I just like car movies. I like car movies, so I
That-
think I have a feel
lot
for
of
the
actors.
timing of them.
musicians, artists, but John really can do it all. You can. It's
Oh,
amazing.
stop.
It's true. I love it.
But
Well,
I love it. I love it. Good.
yeah.
That's the hardest part in Earls of Perry is not writing the sheriff and the mayor just like Boss and Roscoe.
Are they similar?
They're very similar, and it's going to be
It's okay.
it's going to be up to the actors who play them to. I mean, I'm going to tell them, look, I want you to take this as close to that as you can, but then take a right or a left. Don't mimic or certainly don't mock that relationship.
No.
Because this is not a parody. This is just like Dukes was. People assumed Dukes was real. Like I assumed that there was a Mayberry and that Andy was the sheriff.
In Atlanta.
Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think we're going to do it sooner than we thought. So right after the concert in Hazard, we're going to be driving around. Hopefully, we got to hook up with the film commissioner. Hopefully, the film commissioner is watching for the state of Kentucky.
We're dialed in.
And okay, we're dialed in. So we're going to look at some of the locations. Now that I've finished the first script, now we know what the locations are. So now we'll be able to go out and do that. And then,
And I think
filming it is the easy part. People think, oh, they're making a movie. Well, it's just part of it. That's just part. Kind of like the stock market is part of our economy. It is not our economy. So filming, you have to write a script. You have to be inspired to write a script. Then you have to write a script. Then you have to polish a script. Then you have to find locations. Then you have to cast the thing. Then you have to shoot it. Then you have to edit it. Then you have to market it. So shooting it is only one part. But I can't wait. I can't wait.
Well, speaking of the casting, I'm going to be
Orange cars.
here.
Orange
I'm going
cars.
to be bold here. Since
No,
John
it's
is.
going to be bold.
I am. I know it's shocking. So you mentioned about the casting part. It is tough because if you get too similar, it's like not working. Coen bands, poor Coen bands, but people didn't like that, and because they were trying to dress like John and Tom, they're trying to act like it, and it just didn't work. People didn't like it. They rejected it, and I feel bad, but they did. They told. So anyway, but if you go too different, then people aren't going to like that either. I.e., Jessica Simpson and
Oh, that was just awful.
and Shifter's mom. Stifler's mom. Stifler. Stifler's mom played John. Really?
Well, and they were great. I mean, they were wonderful.
But
They just
my point is that was on the other end. They were so different than the originals. That didn't work either. So the casting is key. So where I'm going to be bold here is if you have an idea or you have a headshot, you have an agent or you don't, because you can be new. It will be a side project.
Oh, absolutely.
But I say, because I think it's better for John to be the star, and then you ask people that they don't have to be known, and you have to be good. You have to. I personally think those characters are so embedded in everyone's head, and it needs to be new people. And how nice to give new people.
Because all the old ones are dead.
Well, you know what I mean. But it'll be those special characters, and it is it's a big job because you want to be nostalgic, but you don't want to try to copy. But since we're doing it, it will be perfect. It'll be wonderful. John knows what he's doing. So,
well, we will have a casting director out of Kentucky. Maybe? No, you don't think so? Yeah, it's a hard job.
Well, I do think for extras, for sure. That's our new set.
Oh, it's a hard job because.
But I think the main characters, you have to handpick. I don't want someone.
I know, but I'll handpick from the people that the casting director puts.
Yeah, they're the funnel. We think we'll see.
Oh, I remember the process. My God, I remember my life changing every minute of every day when I was auditioning for Duke.
But I think it's good, and see if our friends agree who are watching the show. Don't you think it'd be fun to have a huge casting call? And I kind of hate that saying because casting call, like a cattle call, but it's good to have a lot of varieties. Yeah, I know. But I would say if you have an interest, P.O. Box 69, Madison, Indiana, just put Dukes of Hazzard casting.
No.
Yes.
Earls of Perry casting.
Well, but they're gonna think it's okay. Earls of Perry casting.
You cannot say Dukes of Hazzard
I know.
casting, and that because now then Warner Brothers is counting. It's just no. It's Earls of Perry casting.
Warner
It really
Brothers. I'm just taunting them.
Brothers Grimm.
I'm just taunting Warner Brothers because they really screwed John over. They did. Tell them how.
No, I'm not telling them how. They know how.
Yeah, I guess they do know.
They know. I'm not
But
gonna.
that's not going to happen.
That's all bad.
We know. All right, Earls of Perry.
Earls of Perry or EOP. What are you asking people to do? I can't believe you're asking people to do that.
I thought it would be fun to kind of get everything going, and then we can kind of talk about it. We can have casting.
You tell the post office, our friends at the post office, did you tell like you gave Brian's number out last week? Greg, I'm sorry. Greg's number out last week?
Greg said it was okay. Look, it's everything.
Greg has not slept in a week.
Anyway.
His phone has been ringing.
Oh, and the concert's going so well. But let me get back to the casting. I think it will start an interest, and it'll be great. So if you have an interest in being in Earls of Perry, the renewed.
You have to be SAG.
Yeah, well, but I think they might be able to get their SAG card if they.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I think
they can be half part lead. Yeah.
Right.
But you still have to pay for it. Joining SAG is expensive. I didn't think we were going to have this conversation, but joining SAG is expensive. I think it costs. Joining SAG might cost like $3,000 now. It was.
Yeah.
I think it'd be more than that. It was. But you have to have a. It's a weird thing. It's what is that great term? Catch-22, because you can't work on a SAG film or a television show unless you have your SAG card, and you can't get your SAG card unless you've worked on a SAG film.
It's almost the hardest thing as an actor. Yeah, it's tricky. Now, I got my SAG card by being on a national talk show, so that gets you on there as well. So it was pretty easy.
Oh, that's because AFTRA and SAG, the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists and the Screen Actors Guild, merged.
So what happened, and I can walk you through the process, for those who are not SAG, that's okay. Audition anyway and send your photos in anyway. And because if you get this part, you will be Taft-Hartley and you will want to get that SAG card. Although there are a lot of impediments going on, so we're not going to do that anymore. So we're going to be SAG. And so if you don't want to go SAG, don't come and audition. Don't send your picture in. But almost all actors do. They want that card. That is a big deal. When I got mine, I was all excited. I was like, oh, and even though it's a union and I'm a Republican, I'm like, ugh. But, well, I'm just going to say it. Ronald Reagan was president of SAG, and it's just the way it works. So if you want to be in that world.
So was Melissa Gilbert.
There have been many.
So was Ed Asner.
There have been many.
I
like to think about.
Oh, I loved Ed.
Ronald Reagan.
Yep. Ed was a great guy. Staunch liberal. Crazy liberal. Wonderful man. You don't have to not get along. Well, you don't have to not get along. You can get along. It was great. I mean, we were so far apart. It was funny. Kind of like Paul.
You and Paul Williams.
Yeah, kind of like Paul. Yeah.
It's Rainbow Connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. He's very sweet, but you have so many friends like this. You start politics. No. And they stop it right away.
Oh my God!
I think they all get the drift now that we are like way to the right.
Well, and it's their turn to whisper. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Their turn to whisper, and I think things are going great. By the way, I think things are going great. This cleaning up process that Doge, I would call it Dodge, that Doge is doing, I think is essential. And I keep reading things on Facebook that are, the folks who are being caught are just coming unglued. But then we see these other things. It says, okay, so wait a minute. So this guy has uncovered billions of dollars, if not trillions of dollars, of kickbacks and graft, where our tax dollars were spent inappropriately, and not just on policies that we disagree with, but on things we have no idea about. And he's the bad guy. So the guy that discovers the leak in your roof is the bad guy? What? How the hell is
They're just mad they got caught. That's all. They're just mad.
I mean, do they really think anyone is buying that bullshit? I mean,
they're trying really hard to cover it up, but it's not going to make. You think Elon Musk cares? And his spare time, he goes and he rescues the astronauts. So I'm pretty sure that, and it's not even been, my God.
Yeah, hang on, I'm going to go get it.
Guess what, folks?
Thank God.
January to February 20th. And tomorrow's the 20th. That's only 2 months. Put that into perspective about how much has been done.
Oh, yeah.
The president's not been there long, and look at everything he has done. It is mind-boggling and marvelous.
What is
Sebastian Gorka says things are moving at the speed of Trump.
Mhm. And that is a speed that is faster than I think we've ever seen in politics, which is amazing. May I finish with the zip code for those who want to be in Earls of Perry?
To try to be as Earls of Perry.
Okay.
This is not
No, this isn't like you.
it's not a call for like when I was in Smoking the Bandit. It's not a call for extras to be in a race scene or something. No, this apparently what my wife is talking about is submitting your photo and your resume to the very small town of Madison, Indiana, which is now, we have enough trouble
Sorry,
in the
Mark.
United States Postal Service without inundating.
I love my post office.
Oh, well, they're not going to love you. They're not going to love you for long. Go ahead.
Because remember talking about privatizing the post office, and I get getting rid of some of those moments, but I love our post office. They're so nice and so helpful and wonderful.
I agree.
Thank you, Madison Post Office.
Okay, what's the address?
The address, Box 69, Madison, Indiana, 47250. And just put Earls of Perry.
Not Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, I misspoke.
Earls of Perry.
Even though anything
ARLS. I mean, we'll get it.
that taunts Warner Brothers, I think, is funny, but whatever.
Why do you keep wanting to poke that bear? I poked the bear, rightfully so, when I was 24 years old, and it bit my ass off.
But they
So-
won't able to this time because we're too smart. We are doing a
Yeah, but it's never a good idea to nanny poo poo. It's never a good idea to do that.
I think it'd be great.
Can't believe I'm saying that because
I
I'm
think
like,
it'd be great.
I poke the bear all the
I don't
time.
care. Let him do it. What are they going to do? Oh, I'm sorry, but you are similar to what? Bo Duke? Look at him. I mean, he does look like Bo Duke, but a few years older, so get over
People still recognize me.
Oh,
with this
everybody
beard.
does.
That's
Everybody
insane.
does. But he is not 18 anymore. And so you can,
Not.
he feels like it, but
Just talked to a dear friend from high school today.
better looking personally.
Talked to a dear friend, Pat, from high school today. And thank you, Greg, for putting Pat and I back on the phone. It was so great. And it's like, we're talking about friends of ours from high school who've had hip replacements now. And it's like, oh my God, have we become those people? I guess we have. Oh, well.
And this started by, and this was another place we've been called Bootleggers in Vegas. It's off the strip, but the food is amazing. This
Oh, yeah, the
great.
food
We had a ball in a bar. Remember?
It's Italian. Bootleggers is Italian, but it was really good.
Yeah. So
Really, really
but
good.
I was able, one of my besties from high school, Amy,
This is why I got in touch with my high school friends again.
John, was motivated because, we were having all these high school conversations. They were like 3 from my high school and 1 from a neighboring high school who married one of our
Married well.
Raiders. Yeah, married well. Yeah, it was a hot table, believe me. Everybody was looking. Anyway, so meeting my friend Amy, of course, she was voted prettiest in the class, and she still is. But she's so great and so wonderful. And so we were talking about all these stories. And for once, John's always center of attention. And they were thrilled to meet him, but we were so engrossed in the high school stories. It was like 2 hours later, and poor John just sitting there. But John was motivated to reach out to his friends from high school. So it was pretty cool.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
Reconnected with Greg, reconnected with Pat. I think going to get reconnected with Steve, and as many as possible. So it's great.
Yeah,
It was good. So I appreciate that.
of
Thank you
course.
for that.
And thank you for being patient about the South Ripley Raider and Hanover. Amy went to Hanover with me too. We've been kind of attached for a long time, and she's just great. So if you're ever in Versailles, Indiana, and you want food, cater it at the Rolling Pin Bakery. She is awesome.
Rolling Pin Bakery. Oh, yeah.
Pin Bakery.
Oh, yeah.
But we had a ball. We had so much fun. And it's good to connect with old friends, but we're not old. Very clear. None of us are old. Age is
They're just old friends. Our friends are old, but we're not old.
age is just a number.
Greg, you're not old. Pat, you're not. I'm not. We're not. Steve, we're not old.
But I think,
We're not old.
I don't know about you all, but I think it is a mindset.
You're just mature. Well, we're not mature either.
I'm glad I didn't have drinks. If I found that would have been bad, it would have happened. Yeah, it's just, it's good to keep good friends, and sometimes it's like, gosh, I've talked to them for 20, 30 years. Is that, and we were so
That
close
means you're old.
before. We're not
You're old.
old.
Well, if you
Age is just a number.
just remembered somebody you haven't talked to in 40 years, you're old.
Well, I had talked to Amy,
Okay.
not 40 years, but I'm thinking it was too many. So it's too many. So it's good to
I
keep
hope
back.
Pat is watching. Pat, what am I supposed to do with this? What am I supposed to do with this?
Well, and you all remember the last show, if you watch all of them, many of you do, and thank you so much for that. And thank you for the suggestions. We do look at all of them. But we're talking about, I wanted John to shave. I suggested he shave for the race, and John didn't want to. So guess what? Who won? And look, I want to go along with the John's a boss, whatever he wants to do. I mean, but I kind of thought that would be nice and just kind of changing it up, but he didn't want to do it. So he wanted to be Stonewall.
Well, it's looking like I used to is not changing it up. See, that's the thing. Looking like this, people are like, well, what the hell? What's up with that?
What's
that
that about?
Glad you asked. It's a thing called the Earls of Perry, because this is what I'm going to look like in the Earls of Perry. And I think we're going to shoot, like I said, sooner than later. Now, if I shave this off, then people are going, oh, you kind of look like you did. Okay. And then that all talks about what was.
Yeah, but
Doesn't talk about, no, I bet it's been 45 years of time, and I love it, but it's time for people to say, oh, what's this new look about? Well, it's a new show. It's called Heroes Are Early. It's very much like Dukes, only I'm the Uncle Jesse who's out of his mind. And this all makes people look forward to what's about to happen, what's coming up, not backward to what already did happen. As much as I love what already did happen. I love everything about it.
But just say you could shave, that's all.
I know, but if we film when I think we're going to film, my beard will be about this long when we do, and I think it needs to be longer.
Fair enough.
So yeah,
What you're doing.
it grows quick, but it grows.
A beard. I think it was great, but I just thought for the racetrack it'd be kind of fun if you shaved, but he didn't. It's all good. And he looked beautiful, most beautiful man there. And it worked out really well. It's true. We had a ball.
Looked like Grizzly Adams.
Dan Haggerty.
Yeah, but
Oh.
also worked with Denver File, by the way. Yep.
Which weirdly takes me to Madison. Okay. Because in the movie Madison, Dan Haggerty is there as a celebrity because Madison races. Like it's
days.
in the movie. John and I watched the movie. I wanted him to watch it because Madison had lost their boat because I won't get into it too much.
Oh,
But it was a big old crisis because the Miss Madison is the hometown boat. And they even did a movie about it. Jim Caviezel started it. After that happened, I said, honey, yes, you should watch the movie so you get this. If you watch the movie, you're going to get it. And right after, John said, tell the mayor I will do a benefit to try to help. Because we can't do all
Get the boats back.
We get asked every day, all day, to do stuff. So we have to be particular about time.
But Madison
But
needs
that
the boat
will
back.
do it. Right. So I believe, and I don't know all the details, but I believe they got one somehow. I was just reading that. So I think, but the mayor is the bond. Mayor Courtney is
Mayor Bob is wonderful. My brother, Mayor Bob,
Yeah,
is
that's
also wonderful.
Well, I
Mayor
love
Bob
my
for-
full
yeah, right.
shaving, and that's still.
Oh, they ganged up on me.
I tried, didn't work.
You had Bob, you had Mike, you had everybody trying to.
Well, I didn't tell Mike to do it. He always thinks that you should be glowed shave it.
I know.
But
Because
Bob was cool about it. Admit it. Bob was not jumping on you. He just,
nope.
he was cool. I was like, okay, then I'll let it go.
Well, here's the thing. People assume for some reason that everybody wants to look younger. I don't want to look younger. I want to look my age. I want to look like a cowboy. I want to look like the cowboy heroes like John Wayne did when I was a kid.
And you do.
So, and so that to me,
But John Wayne didn't have a beard.
no, he only did once. He was like scruffy. But the assumption, like I said, the assumption is, oh, you have any idea how much younger you look without your beard? I don't care. Like Tommy Lee Jones to Harrison Ford in The Fugitive. I don't care.
I'm not guilty. I don't care.
Well, I didn't kill my wife. He said, I don't care. And a great movie. If you haven't seen that, check it out. Another great Harrison Ford movie. This is two great Harrison Ford movies. If you like Star Wars and all that, watch Mosquito Coast and Regarding Henry. Two fantastic Harrison Ford movies. But I digress. So the assumption, remember, I'm the guy that was 18 who told Warner Brothers I was 24 when I auditioned for Dukes of Hazzard. I've always been the guy who wanted to be or look older than he really is. So I like this. Okay.
Well,
So somebody say, I know, but somebody coming to me say, you look younger with that. No. And by the way, for the record, I think I look older without the beard. because I got this. I'm looking like Ronald Reagan in the throat, in the neck. I got this turkey neck nonsense going on.
You're beautiful either way. It doesn't matter. Look, you look great in a beard. You look great without it. It was just a thought.
Great.
So here, y'all.
I have it.
And
That just easier to cross my legs. Got to do more yoga. Well, can't do less yoga. Tried to do some stretching in the electric suit this morning.
the electrocution suit has made John huge. He is gigantic. He is. Hey, Tony, we'll send you the pictures, but you'll see at the race. I mean, Morgan Freeman looks itty bitty next to John, and most people
Doesn't
do.
make me taller.
Other than Reacher, we've been watching Reacher.
Oh my God.
Which, we've been watching Wild Wild West and Reacher. So the first season ended.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, woo-wee. That's such a great show. John introduced me to it. I love Wild Wild West. It's so cool.
But Reacher, if you haven't seen Reacher,
Good. At first, I didn't like it because I like Tom Cruise, and I knew.
I love Tom Cruise.
And I'm like, that's not Reacher. But then it grew on me. He grew on me. So it was good.
Yeah, Alan. I've never met Alan. Alan was on Smallville. He was Aquaman on Smallville.
He's totally Aquaman.
But never met him. But he's so perfect for Reacher because he's a he's a big guy, but he's also there's something kind and thoughtful about him. Which is hard when you're his size. I mean, he's 6'3". He's my height, but I think he's like 280.
He's gigantic.
I'm so sad that they have already had somebody be his father in that, because I'd love to be Jack Reacher's father.
Maybe you'd be his crazy uncle.
But I'd be crazy uncle. Hey, there's my new thing. You're everybody's crazy uncle. I was everybody's crazy cousin, so why not everybody's crazy uncle? But the Reacher series comes from a man named Lee Child. He wrote, I think, like 17 of these books in the Reacher series. Yeah. And then he and his son had been writing together. They've been writing some since then. So I say that because this is remember I talked about don't get it right, get it written. Well, he has done all of these books, and then obviously is a wonderful, he sold millions and millions of copies of these. So it's not just a television show. So when your dialogue comes from a novelist that is the caliber of Lee Child, kind of like Stephen Cannell, then the dialogue is fantastic. And then when you get the right people to say it, oh, what was the line the other day? Oh, Reacher comes into some lawyer and he's given him, he said, I got run over at Home Depot or something. So the lawyer's like, look, I don't usually do this, but Home Depot's got deep pockets and I want to get my hands all the way down in there. And he said, so tell me what happened. And he said, I lied to you. None of that happened. I just wanted to have a meeting with you because I need the contents of such and such a file. And the guy's like, kind of like, what was that show? Breaking Bad. There was Better Call Saul.
Oh, right.
Right. So he's that kind of smarmy, sort of a lawyer, ambulance chasing lawyer. And proud of it, which is great.
Is it Larry David?
And he says, no.
No,
that's David, anyway.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Yeah, the liberal
Never.
crazy guy. Bryan Cranston. So sorry, Brian, but you know who you are. Just you and Meathead hang out and talk about what could have been. So the guy says, and he looks at the phone and he says, I can ruin your life with one phone call. And Reacher says, I can end your life with one phone.
And he just about did. Keeps their phone wrapped around his back.
So, now that I have your attention, anyway, it's really great. Like, I don't know if you're big Clint Eastwood fans. I certainly am, but the great, go ahead, make my day. Great line.
He's very much like
Outlaw Josie Wales, dying ain't much of a living, boy. Great stuff. So if you haven't seen Reacher yet, watch it. It does tend toward violent, but some people need killing. If you haven't seen 4 to Go yet, check out the movies. Check out the stuff at Cineflix. But there's a Johnny Lee, looking for love in all the wrong places. He plays a
Dean Cain, right?
a police, and Dean Cain is in it. See,
Dean Cain was
Yep.
great.
Yep, and it's great. Marcus Bagwell, great wrestler, is in it too. Our young lady from Walking Dead, her name just ran right out of my head. Anyway, it's fun. But one of the lines in there is Johnny Lee says, "Some people need killing," and Dean Cain says, "Some do."
Well, we only got a few minutes left. So I want to remind you about Hazard.
Yep.
So John is doing a benefit concert in Hazard, Kentucky on his birthday. You know, when in show, look, giving is better than receiving. Go on. When he's 65 years old, let's do the right thing. And it's a special situation. He wanted to do that. His birthday was coming, so we decided to combine it. We get finished.
All right, so we're gonna do a bunch of the great old songs like "I've Been Around Enough to Know," "Dad," "Country Girls,"
Swallow the wrong way.
"Swallow the Wrong Way." You have any water? You have any water? There's no water in there either.
It's okay.
I drink.
Good. But
Just added "Can I Buy You a Beer" back to the. It's a great tribute song to our military and our first responders. "Can I buy you a beer? Just need a moment of your time. Then I'll get out of your hair and let you get on with the rest of your night. I saw the flag on your shoulder. I saw the stripes up there on your sleeve. And I want you to know it hasn't gone unnoticed, and the next round is on me. So can I buy you a beer?" So our patriotism, her patriotism before we met, my patriotism before we met, we've always been lovers of this country and great respecters of those who have gone out and given the last full measure, those who have gone out and sacrificed life and limb, those who have sent people out who never returned, so that this country can be safe. We appreciate them, we applaud them, and we do whatever we can to help those in need. And we request that you do the same thing.
so they're the true heroes. We're just trying to do,
We're just holding the flashlight.
we're just trying to
Holding a flashlight so that people can see what great heroes are out there.
the folks that give their lives and are willing to do that are in the military. You're the true heroes. We're just trying to help folks in Hazard. And
Yep.
please look at the websites. Please look at Facebook because we'll both there's a site where you can just give money if you're not going to go. Many of you have asked that.
Yep.
And also there
And anything to help, really,
It's all good.
anything helps.
And I'll help.
Yep.
Furman Generators have offered to
Thank you,
donate a couple generators.
Thank you, Justin. Yeah, that's great.
Thank you. That's wonderful. They're all
The generators.
sad. And people are pitching in. I mean, it's going to be epic. It's going to be such a special night. So hopefully you can come. And if you can't, just donate a little money and help these folks out because every bit of it goes to the flood victims. There's no hanky-panky. There's no nonsense. There's no USAID.
Oh, God, no.
No, I said, look, if that's going to be the case, we're out. We're not doing this. And they're like, no, they send the reports. They are up and up. These people are working hard in Hazard for their fellow neighbors, and we're going down there to help. And
Working hard to help Hazard. I
Cody,
like that.
Keith as well.
Cody's going to be there. Keith is going to be there. Stars and Bars Band is going to be there. And if you can't make some sort of a donation, then sometimes in your travel plans in the next year or two, go to Hazard. We're probably going to be there filming anyway, but go to Hazard and go get a burger. Go support local businesses in Hazard. Until then, support all your local businesses where you live.
Mom and pops.
Doesn't mean don't ever, ever, ever go to a Vox store, but we very seldom
We
go.
try hard to go to the
Try hard to only go to the Montage places to eat, to drink, to we're going to go to the Duck Pin Bowling place when we get back to Madison.
Wait,
Can't wait to see what that's about.
I think it's Vintage Lanes. I believe what it's called.
On Jefferson and 2nd,
Yeah, you're right.
I think.
Well,
Right across from Circle K, not far from the post office. Get you some Mad Love. Have a great time there. Go to Mad Paddle. There's a bunch of great places there. But your hometown has a bunch of great places too. Wherever you live, you don't have to always go to Red Lobster and Olive Garden.
and I think you are. What's your favorite local hometown place? I mean, look, I love all of our.
8 seconds. Brag about your favorite hometown place. Sorry, last week was short, but we made up for it this week. You take care. This has been Drinks with Dee Dee.
And John.
That's me.
Love you.
Love you too.